Hello, welcome. My name is Lauren with Lauren Teaches Flute. Today we're going to talk about how to get the low notes more responsive and immediate when you start the notes. If you're having trouble starting the notes, especially on the super low notes, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Before I get into this topic, please subscribe to my channel if you like my content. I would love to have you here. Also know that I do offer online private Skype lessons. So if you're interested in working one-on-one with me and you'd like more information about that, I'll leave a link to where you can find that in the description below. So let's begin. Tip number one, if you only watch one part of this video, this is the tip I want to share with you. It's simply to relax. Relax. So this could look like just becoming aware of where you may be holding unnecessary tension, doing too much, maybe trying too hard. Let it go. So let go between the back teeth. It could be opening up between the back teeth a little bit. It could be making sure you have a wider aperture, or maybe you're clamping your lips together. Make sure it's nice and wide and open in the lips, the lip opening or the aperture. A lot of times I like to use the analogy of, imagine you're blowing into a water bottle. If you've ever done that, you know that your lips and your aperture is way bigger. It's almost like you feel like you're playing a giant flute. So you can carry some of that into the actual flute playing. Let go. Just do less. Could be that you just need a wider aperture, a little more space, let the jaw hang a little bit more. If you're clenching it, all that good stuff. That's the first thing. That's my number one suggestion to get easier, more responsive low notes. The next suggestion and tip that I have is, of course, the setup. So make sure you're not too rolled in, which if you're too rolled in, it's probably not going to sound, or it's probably going to hit a higher note. So I'll show you what that sounds like, looks like. Yeah, it's pretty much the higher, a higher partial comes out when I roll in too much. If I'm too rolled out, it's going to feel like I'm using tons of air and not getting hardly any sound. Like that. So you want to just do some experimenting and find the sweet spot where you make the most sound with the least effort. Generally speaking, cover 1/3 of the embouchure hole with your bottom lip, and the next suggestion will go right along with this one because it has to do with alignment, is make sure you have the proper air angle. So generally speaking, on the low notes, you're going to angle more down. So this is a general statement. We do different air angles for different dynamics if we're playing soft or loud, but without getting too technical, generally speaking, when you play low notes, you're going to angle down, okay? One of the contraptions that I often talk about is this Numo Pro, and if you've seen my older videos, you probably have seen this, but this is a good little tool to, you practice controlling your air. So a lot of times we're playing the flute, we think we're angling more across or we think we're angling down, but we don't really know. So this is a really cool tool to confirm what you're doing with your air angle. So you can practice with this contraption. If you have one of these little head joints, you can practice moving your air around and spinning the different fans, if you can see from here. You can move it all the way to the top fan and go all the way down to the bottom fan. So you can do that, but you really don't need a Numo Pro. You could just play on the tube of the flute like this, put your hand here, and then just make sure you feel your air on your hand. See if you can get all the way to your thumb. See if you can feel it all the way on your thumb. You can also experiment with different air angles, holding your arm here. I'm not moving my head up and down like this. I'm moving my jaw and I'm moving my lips. Then once you get used to what it feels like to angle the air down, you can start to carry more of that into your flute playing. And it's very important to consider the first two tips I said, really making sure you're not doing too much tensing. Just stay cool, stay calm, stay relaxed, let the air do its thing. Make sure you've practiced placement and you have an idea of where you're placing the flute on your lip. You're covering about 1/3. And then gently start angling the air down. And once you get used to that, it can become more automatic. So when you play the low notes, you can automatically, have that reflex and have that muscle memory of angling the air down to get nice, full, resonant sounding low notes. So the next tip is actually a warm-up. So it's chromatic, just a couple of chromatic notes. Just half steps, just 2 half steps down, 1 half step up, and that's the exercise. And I'm slightly crescendoing to the lowest note, and to crescendo, I'm just making sure I'm not getting in my own way. I'm not pinching my aperture or my lips together. I'm allowing there to be the space that there needs to be to let the air through, and I'm angling a little bit lower as I increase my airspeed. And that's pretty much it. So I'll do some close-ups, and then I will put on the screen, I'll just put the whole warm-up on the screen so you can pause the video and do the warm-up on your own. Alright, so hopefully you get an idea of what my lips are doing. So generally speaking, the air is going a bit lower. I'm just making room for the sound to come through. And my lips might look different from your lips, so don't feel like it has to look exactly the same. But basically, it's a game of getting out of the way. How can I get out of the way and let the air come through? And if you get stuck on one, I wouldn't necessarily go past that. I would just work on this exercise over time, and when you're ready, you can gradually go lower and lower and lower. And the next exercise is simply getting the response right on the beginning of the low note. So in the last exercise, we started a little bit softer. This one, we're gonna honk it out a little bit. We're gonna honk out the note a little bit more. So on the Numo Pro, okay, so I'll just do this fan and this fan. If you can see it, I'm doing the second from the bottom fan and the third from the bottom fan. I'll do fast air here and slow air here. So it gives you an idea of what my lips are doing in this next exercise. Okay, so you can even hear the sound of the fan spinning faster. So I'm gonna make it simple, just simple 3-note arpeggios. So I'll start with G, which is GBD. Work to get a nice immediate response on the G, and then float the B and the D. Come back down and get a nice full sound on the G again. So it sounds like this. slur it as well. And work your way down. If this is too much, just do the G. Just play the G and do some experimenting on what it feels like when you get the immediate response. And that could just be your practice for a little while. You can even switch to the tube of the flute, put your hand here, see if you're angling the air low. Then go back. It improved my sound. That one thing alone made my sound a little bit ringier, I thought. And then when you're ready, you can try the arpeggio. I'll go ahead and go close up and show you what my lips are doing close up. So whatever level you feel comfortable with, if you want, you can do the arpeggio version, and if you want, you can just start with one note and experiment and see what changes you can make to get immediacy in your sound. And it could be relaxing. What can I let go of? What tension can I release? Getting out of your own way. It could be finding the sweet spot. Are you too rolled out, too rolled in? It could be the air angle. Do I need to angle my air a little lower? And just experiment with those three things on the one note and really dig into it and see what works for you. I always love taking notes, so write down what works for you and really memorize it in words what works, but also you'll over time develop the muscle memory of what works for you and digging into those low notes and getting a nice responsive sound. So those are my tips for today. So I hope this video was helpful and informative to you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe below for more videos and tutorials like this one. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Until next time, take care. Bye.